Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. After a confirmed case of COVID reinfection in Hong Kong, similar reports are now emerging in India, in Mumbai and in Bangalore in particular. What should this do for our understanding of the COVID-19 virus? And what does it say for vaccine preparation? This question on a day when India has overtaken Brazil in the number of cases, but in fact, the actual number, as the serological surveys in Mumbai, Delhi, and Pune show us, is much higher, and some would say the infection fatality rate is much lower than feared. To understand all of this, we have a very special panel. We're joined by Dr. Mohan Joshi, who's the Dean at Mumbai Sion Hospital. We're joined by Dr. Sweta Chavan, who's a Professor of Community Medicine at the Seven Hills Hospital. Dr. Shilpa Karande, Professor of Medicine at Nair Hospital, joins us. And Dr. Shubhangi, who's a resident at Seven Hills, Mumbai, is here to share her story of how she had tested positive earlier and now is feeling unwell again. Dr. Joshi, aapse shuru karti hu. I'll start with you because a case of reinfection was reported at Sion. How do you read this narrative of reinfection, and what does it actually mean? What does it actually mean? Does it mean that someone did not get okay the first time they got the infection? Or does it mean that there are different, the virus is mutated? What does it actually mean?
Thank you so much, Barkha, for calling me on this particular discussion panel. Now, I'll tell you that this is whether this should be called as reinfection or reactivation, number one. There are several reasons that there are 2 or 3 anecdotal cases reported in the world literature. One is in Hong Kong, one is in United States, one in India is in Bangalore, and there's a lady who's sitting here, doctor of anesthesiology, and she has been detected positive 2 months back.
Yes.
Dr. Shilpa may tell you technical definitions of what do we call it as reinfection and when do we call it as reinfection, etc. But there are few things that all the patients do not develop good amount of antibodies. The antibodies may not last longer, and therefore sometimes you are under a sort of pseudo this thing feeling that no, once I got the corona, I will not get
I'm
it
immune.
again.
Yeah.
So this we don't know exactly, and this might question the problem of vaccine, but I don't think that the number of cases are too many that we have to really bother. But we have seen patients, because we are doing plasma trial, we are collecting plasma, and for that reason we are doing antibodies of the patients who were positive. And therefore what we find is that adequate quantity of antibodies may not be there in some people, and therefore they may not be immune to get second sort of infection.
But Dr. Joshi, because I don't want to alarm people, you are saying that firstly these cases of, let's call it reinfection for now, these are still rare. These are still very rare that you're coming across. Yeah. And also you're saying what it might mean is that in the rare case, an individual may not develop enough neutralizing antibodies to give you immunity. Now, of course, that will raise all kinds of questions on the vaccine, and I'll get Dr. Shilpa to explain the technical difference. But we have Dr. Shubhangi here, as you mentioned, who's actually gone through this. And Dr. Shubhangi, I'll start by asking you to tell us what happened to you when were you first tested positive, and when did you start feeling unwell again with the same symptoms?
Good evening, everyone. Actually, I was first time when I tested positive, I was posted at Seven Hills Hospital for the ICU setup and to work in the ICU for COVID patients. Then I developed sore throat, so I did my swab, and the swab was sent on 21st and it came positive on 23rd. So for isolation and treatment, I got admitted at Seven Hills Hospital. At that time, I had only sore throat, and after like 2-3 days, I developed dry cough. And it was luckily my saturation was normal, my chest x-ray was normal, and I got discharged. And second infection I got on I tested positive on 27th of August. Actually,
so what was the gap, ma'am? What was the gap between the first time and the second time? Kitne din the? Would you
3
say
months.
Interval between first
3
positive-
months? 3 months.
More than
Okay.
3 months, I can
Okay.
say.
Okay. Okay. Then.
Then I did swab this time because I was posted in COVID ICU. So before joining at Sion, we have to do a swab. So this time it came positive. On first day, I was totally asymptomatic, but from second day, I developed stomach upset and I developed weakness and headache, what we can call as malaise. And after 4 days, my swab came negative. Fortunately, this time also I was maintaining saturation on air, and my chest X-ray, everything was normal.
But
Now I am in
Shubhangi,
quarantine. Yeah.
you're still in quarantine. You're still in
For 7
quarantine.
days, they have advised quarantine.
So, but what I'm understanding is that in an interval of 2 months, Dr. Shubhangi, twice your RT-PCR test, the swab test, was
Yeah.
positive. Twice it was positive.
The first negative came on 26th. It was sent on 24th, and report came on 26th. After, in between, also I did RT-PCR test. It was negative only.
But yeah, it was positive. Can I ask you something? Do you feel the same intensity of illness, or do you feel less ill the second time around? Because what the Hong Kong case reported was a milder infection or a milder set of symptoms the second time around. Shubhangi?
Actually, the symptoms were different, totally different second time. Second time, I didn't had sore throat or cough. I only had stomach upset and so much of malaise. Actually, the malaise is, I feel, is more than the first episode. I still have weakness, what we can call the post-COVID fatigue. I still have.
Now, I just want to say to our viewers that there is a difference between long COVID and reinfection. We have on this program brought you people who talk about fatigue, brain fog, hair loss for a while after. And that is not to be confused with reinfection. It is only a reinfection if your swab tests positive again. Before I come to Dr. Shilpa, Dr. Joshi, can there be a case of false positive? Because RT-PCR is something that we are counting on. Can we rule out false positive when we try to understand these reinfections? Because in Shubhangi's case, both times she had symptoms. So I doubt that we are looking at a case of false positives. Dr. Joshi?
Yeah, there is a possibility that the first swab could have been false positive, and then she was declared positive, and then she has got truly the infection next time. That is always a possibility which is postulated in the literature. And the second attack usually is a little milder. Even it has been said in the viral diseases, like you have a pertussis vaccine taken for, say, cough, or dangya khokla, we call it as in Marathi. Now, the second time if somebody gets pertussis, it is pertussoid. It is not truly the pertussis or pertussive cough like that. So the milder form of cough you may get.
But here's the point. But let me go to Smita and Shilpa. Now, Dr. Shilpa, that would make sense if the symptoms were similar. But Dr. Shubhangi is saying that mere to symptoms hi alag hai. That time it was a dry cough. This time it's an upset stomach. Primarily, I'm picking up a key symptom. So you can't even say it's milder. So Dr. Shilpa, please explain, what do we technically call a reinfection? And what does that mean for our antibodies? Because so far we've been saying that jiske paas antibodies hai, wo immune. That is why we've been going by these serological surveys and we've been deriving hopes of herd immunity from them. Dr. Shilpa.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you, Barkha, for inviting me on this talk. See, I would like to clarify a few things. Like recently, CDC has given us guidelines on 16th of August. That a few studies they have analyzed, and as per that they say that some patient who is recovered can have RT-PCR positive for up to 3 months. That means after 14 days, first day of symptom till 14th day, patient may be infectious and spreading virus to others. But after 14th day till 3 months, though his RT-PCR is positive, he may be having dead virus. RT-PCR test doesn't detect whether it's infectious virus or non-infectious virus. So RT-PCR test just detects the parts of that virus, genomic structure of that virus. So it may be positive up to 3 months. So in this 3 months, if any patient comes again after some infections, maybe sore throat or body ache, we have to rule out other infections, other viral infection causing sore throat or other bacterial infection causing this, or some monsoon diseases like dengue, malaria. So that is number one. I want to clarify that up to 3 months.
So can I ask you, when you hear Dr. Shubhangi's case, what do
Yes.
you make of it?
So yes. Another postulated things what we in the world means we are thinking about reinfection is that some patients might get reinfection because of mutation and different strains.
Yes.
With the first attack they have antibodies, but the second attack may be due to different strains. Thus there are mutation chances are very high, so reinfection might be there. And this will be clarified only after some genetic sequencing and genetic mapping. If it is done, immunologist will be able to tell us the better scenario.
So let me understand, Dr. Shilpa, what you've said. You've said that if I test COVID positive, let's say today, on the what is the day, 6th or 7th of September, then for 3 months I can continue to test positive in my RT-PCR, right?
Not everybody.
Some people can. Okay. And we do not yet know whether it is the same dead virus or whether in fact the virus is mutating. So for example, Dr. Smita, they say that you can, I don't know if I'm right because I'm not a doctor, but they say you can get dengue 4 times. You can get it 4 times before you don't get it again, right? So what we don't know right now is, can you get COVID-19 more than once? Do we know the answer to this, Dr. Smita?
Hello. Hi everyone, and hi Varkha.
Hi.
See, many things we do not know about coronavirus. It is under trial, it is under research. But whatever the cases coming to us, up to that we can have some conclusion, or we can say something about that to the community, so that reinfection should not occur. For example, I am working as additional dean at Simon Hills Hospital, and we have discharged more than 10,000 patients till date. Okay, but in these patients, we have started post-COVID OPD also, and now we are getting patients, reinfection cases, but they are very few, but they are there. Distinctly, I remember 3 cases, but there can be up to 10 cases of reinfection. 3 cases, one of this is our resident doctor here, and 2 more cases distinctly I remember. These 3 patients are, presentations are very, very different, and their incubation period is very different. First case was that one merchant case, businessman. I admitted him, and over a period of 15 days he recovered. He had CT changes and all, and he went back. And he was so much so in the business and all that he didn't follow our instructions. He never took any rest for the day when he started working at home. And very 7th day, within a week, he came back with positive report. Even he was discharged with the negative report. So he came within a very few period, days. Within 1 week he came back, and then we realized that he didn't follow our instructions. He never took any rest, and then with all these fatigue, weakness and all, he got reinfected, was admitted again, had again CT changes, X-ray changes in the lungs, and was treated again. Another case was of policeman. That policeman took proper precautions after discharge, took rest of quarantine period, and then joined duties. And after joining duties, he got infected. Yeah, and he again came to us and was treated positive.
So can I ask you, ma'am, Dr. Smita, do you see this as reinfection, or do you see it as an absence of recovery from the first infection? Because this is a very critical difference, right? And we don't want to scare people. And it could be that you never recovered the first time around.
Yeah.
And therefore, what it may tell us is that our quarantine periods may get longer. Maybe, I don't know.
And that's all. This was the 3rd case of Shubhangi that I remember distinctly. The intubation, means the period between the 2 infection was more, because they followed proper instructions, proper quarantine, went to the non-COVID work, and so and so. So you cannot predict how the virus will behave, what is the virulence, what is the malignancy of this virus, where the virus again gets reactivated in the body. You can't say. It needs big research, but yes, community people should take precautions as if they are they are not immune to the virus. They may get infected. So the masking and everything should be there.
So you're saying all precautions have to be taken even
Yes.
after you test positive. That don't think that
Recovered
just
from the
because
infection.
don't
Yes.
think that just because you've recovered once that sab theek hai. Dr.
Sab
Shubha,
theek hai.
before I come to Dr. Joshi and back to Shilpa, can you tell us a little bit about your own experience? How do you think, because you know your body, you're also a doctor. How do
Yeah.
you think, Shubhangi, how do you think you may have got it again, or do you think you never recovered fully the first time?
Actually, I think I have recovered totally, because in between also I did swab test and all were negative, and I didn't have any like symptom in between. Whenever I felt like, even if I have a sore throat, I have given a swab. So it was all time it was negative, and I am a totally healthy person. I don't have any comorbidities, and I have followed all the instruction every time in hospital. I was wearing a PPE, N95 mask, and everything.
Yeah. So you're not an example of what Dr. Smita is calling people who take things for granted. You've taken every precaution, and yet, and can I just ask you, what is your most different symptom the second time around, Shubhangi? The stomach.
Yeah, I had a stomach upset. Yeah.
Now, Dr. Joshi, what does this do for what doctors will advise patients, right? Because I have been arguing after traveling across India that herd immunity is showing signs of developing in pockets. But if reinfection is real, if it is not, if it turns out that it is more common than, and I hope that doesn't happen, than we know so far, then we cannot, one, count on herd immunity. Two, it may even mean that you can't even count on an annual vaccine or a one-time vaccine. It changes a lot about our understanding of this virus, Dr. Joshi, and it changes a lot about the pace at which people will be ready to unlock and get back to their normal lives.
Yeah, the first thing, Barkha, please try to understand that this is a new disease. We do not know. We are, in fact, learning through the natural history and the spectrum of the disease.
Yes.
What it happens, how it behaves, how the virus behaves, what it does, etc., and how it destroys the lung. And the other important thing was that when in the pandemic situation and in the lockdown period, people were just treating one time a patient of corona. Now, in last about 2 months or so, everybody has started thinking follow-up of the patient. And then we are realizing so many things. And one of them is that the virus damages the lungs tissues permanently. And this leads to a pulmonary insufficiency. That is one thing we have started understanding.
Yes.
Number two, that when we are repeating the CT scans, we are realizing that the lesions are still persistent, though the patient is all right. So the
Yes.
radiological recovery is little slower than the actual recovery of the patient.
Yes.
And number three, that some patients who are becoming symptomatic again, they are having COVID-like symptoms, and then we are thinking of reactivation. There is another very important theory that this virus, when it goes to the lungs deeper in the tissue, it causes thrombosis of the vessels, and it forms something like COVID balls or pneumonitic patches or something. And in those pneumonitic patches, they are not aerated, they are not having blood supply. So this is something like a dead debris in the lung. And this is the place where the virus may remain dormant. That is the new postulation. And the virus may get reactivated at a later date.
So the viruses, so the antibodies in simple have not defeated the virus.
Not defeated, because this remains isolated at a place where the antibodies do not work. Antibodies will work when the blood supply is there, good blood supply. So it may not affect the newer part of the lung. But when there are no antibodies, it is something like an isolated house of the viruses. So this virus may get reactivated. That is another postulation which we have to keep it in mind.
So Dr. Shilpa and Dr. Smita, basically what Dr. Joshi is saying is that the virus, basically we do not yet know what antibodies are needed to neutralize this virus. That this virus is not automatically neutralized by the fact of the infection. This is what I'm understanding it in a simple way. Dr. Shilpa, what does this do for how doctors are going to treat this? Or how vaccines are going to develop, or what advice you will give for the length of quarantine? I'll start with you, Shilpa, and then Smita. Yeah.
As I told you previously that number one, I told you that it may remain dormant for 3 months and then, dead virus. Second thing I told you about reinfection. Third,
Yes.
sir just discussed about reactivation. That is latent
Yes.
infection. That has been seen with many other viruses also in the past. Herpes virus, cytomegalo and Epstein virus. So this might happen with coronavirus also. So whenever a patient comes to us the second time, we have to really see whether it's a false positive test, or it is really, if it is patient has the symptoms, what kind of symptoms? The mild, as per category, government of India, we have categorized patient as mild, moderate, severe, A, B, C, D, like that.
Yes.
So clinical observation and clinical monitoring of the patient is very important if patient comes with the reinfection, whether he is mild or is deteriorating into the severe form. So monitoring is important. As I also previously said that we have to see other infections also. Out of 7,000 patients what we have treated, even we found 10 healthcare workers coming with us with reinfection. Out of that, one had a urinary tract infection also, 2 had malaria infection also simultaneously.
So these 10 are where, ma'am? These
Healthcare-
10 that
healthcare
workers includes doctors, nurses, anybody.
Lab staff, yes, and
So-
a few couple of other patients also we have seen who had renal failure and cancers.
Is this at your hospital alone?
Yes, yes.
Because I'm trying to understand, because Dr. Smita says she has seen 10 cases. You have seen 10 cases. That's 20 cases. Dr. Joshi, how many cases have you seen at Sion?
No, maybe three, not more than 3.
So,
Yes.
so in this panel, that's 23 cases of possible reactivation or reinfection. That's 23 cases that we are talking about. Dr. Shilpa, please finish your point.
Monitoring is very important, whether a patient really has a second reinfection and whether it's really the COVID-like symptoms. So we have to see clinically blood investigation and CT scan whether the patient has getting seriousness.
So what did you find? What did you find in the 10 healthcare?
We found they were all mild cases. They were all mild cases. And initially they were accidentally, because their colleague was positive, so they had tested themselves, so they were positive initially 3 months ago without any symptoms. But this time, when out of 10, 3 doctors they came, they had milder symptoms. So we didn't see any case which was serious enough.
Okay, that's good news, Smita. So 10 cases at Nair Hospital, 10 cases, Smita, at Seven Hills, right? And 3 at Sion. This is what we're looking at right now.
Ma'am, this can be iceberg only.
Yes.
This can be iceberg only. So there can be hidden cases in the community which they are not reported to us.
Yes.
Now when we
So
have
there can be many more cases in the community which are not getting detected, or they are just mild cases. Means maybe they are not coming for detection and testing and all. There can be such cases, but they may be dangerous for spread in the community. And in recent time, we have seen
So that is the other question I had. That if someone tests positive a second time, are they as likely to be vectors of the virus? We don't know.
We don't know actually, madam. We do not know much of the things, but
yes.
If viral load is not that much, the spread of infection is less. And if we are seeing these cases are mild form of corona infection, they might be spreading it at a lower pace than the previous one, the high viral load cases comparatively. And if they are not coming to us, they are not suffering much.
So, Dr. Shubhangi, what did you feel mentally when you tested positive a second time? Because, it must have challenged your conventional assumption. And as a doctor at the front line, you must have felt quite shaken, Dr. Shubhangi.
Yeah, actually being a doctor, you know so much that what COVID can do. So it is a normal thing, I think, for everyone who is tested positive, that on first few days you feel a little anxious. But I have seen patients recovering. I have worked many times in COVID ICU. So I was a little, I was trying to be positive till my swab report come negative. And you just have to be positive and calm and composed and follow all the instructions and take all precautions.
And you were calm even when you tested positive a second time? Or were you shocked?
No, first day I was shocked that how can I come positive for the second time, because I was taking so much precautions that I shouldn't come positive again, because I have to get admitted in isolation ward again, that quarantine and everything.
Yeah. Dr. Joshi, I'll give you the last word. We don't want to scare people, right? That's very important because the country's just started unlocking. We want to encourage people to take precautions and get back to living. But if people hear about reinfections, it will change the advice the doctors give. Will it change the period that you advise quarantine for? अभी तक 14 दिन था, maximum 21 दिन. अब 3 महीने बाद एक dormant virus resurface हो जाए तो हम क्या करें, sir?
It will not change the advice which is given by the doctors, because please try to understand that asymptomatic patient who is positive is not really a great threat to the society. That is what WHO says, that is what ICMR says, and that is what even we say.
Yeah.
Because he's not coughing, he's not having fever, he's not sneezing. So he's not a great threat to the society as far as the transmission is concerned.
Yes.
He becomes asymptomatic positive. So that is not a concern unless you become symptomatic. And then we always test and we always quarantine and we always put them to isolation. So that is not a problem.
Are you worried, sir? Are you worried? Because the most vulnerable are your young doctors like Shubhangi. The most vulnerable at the front line are doctors, are health workers. Are you worried, Dr. Joshi?
No, I know that we are worried, but we are still working very hard. Honestly, taking round every day as
Yes.
administrative round, academic round, and we have to look after. We take proper precaution. We wear PPE kits, and we will use proper masks. That is all we can say.
Well, all I can say is that God bless all of you. I think what comes home from this is that we don't know. We don't know. Even the vaccine, if there is a chance of reinfection, if the vaccine even works, will you need to take a vaccine every few months? I don't know what it means. Dr. Shilpa, you want the last word to that? Yeah, you wanted to add something?
Actually, Corona is new to the whole world, and we don't know how it mimics years after, many years we can say exactly. But if the antibody things are really decreasing, a declining way, then we need to take vaccine maybe yearly, like flu vaccine. Flu vaccine we take every year because there are mutant strains which are happening because of antigenic shift and drift. So maybe in future we'll have to take some booster dose, or maybe frequently we'll have to take it.
But
currently we don't have to worry about it. Vaccines are made from the most common strain in the society, and they are definitely protective, and nothing to get scared of a reinfection.
Okay, we will leave it there. We don't want to alarm people, but we do have to study science as it emerges. And I think what this debate around reinfection or reactivation, perhaps of the same virus, that's what we actually don't know yet, tells us is how little we still know about Corona. A special hat tip to all of our doctors, to Dr. Shilpa, Dr. Smita, Dr. Joshi, and a special good luck to you, Shubhangi, for coming here, sharing your story, bravely still being at the front line. And can I ask you, are you willing to go back on COVID duty despite testing twice, positive twice? Are you?
Yes.
You are
because
willing.
there is already a crunch of people. We are short of anesthetists and all.
Well,
So I'll
really,
be joining my duties after I recover totally.
we bless you and we applaud your courage. Thank you so much. And we'll be keeping an eye on the story, and we'll call these wonderful doctors back soon as they study the virus more and are able to share more with us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please
Thank
drop
you.
in when you come to Mumbai.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you.
Yes.